Today we will discuss about nonlinear programming using Lagrangian method. Introduction. So in many real life problems, the objective functions may be a nonlinear problem such that it will be in terms of x one variable, y as another variable, which is very difficult to solve. But the constraints for this objective function may be linear or non-linear. It depends on the term. This we call it as a non-linear problem. To solve such problems, we have different methods and various methods can be adopted. In this session, we will discuss about how to use Lagrangian approach to solve a non-linear problem. Lagrangian method. So to solve a problem in Lagrangian method, it can be done by using a formula. So let me consider L, which is equal to objective function minus sum of Lagrangian multiplier into each constraint. So in order to elaborate this clearly, let us consider an objective function. So it may be a maximization or a minimization problem. It is a function of x, x1, x2, x3 up to x power n. So which is indicating your variable. For example, if you have two variables, you will have x1 and x2. If it is 3, you may have x1, x2 and x3. So it is subjected to one constraint. So this constraint, let me call it as g of I. So which is in terms of that variables x1, x2 up to x power n is equal to bi. So you may have m number of constraints. So let me consider m. So for example, if I consider two constraints, so my m value is 2. If it is 3 constraints, my m value is 3. So objective function denotes number of variables, which is n, and the constraints denotes number of constraints denotes m. Now the constraint can be modified as small gi x1, x2, xn, so which is equal to g of I x1, x2, xn minus bi, because what I am doing here is I am taking all my terms in left hand side and making one side right hand side as 0. So this is how this we call it as g of I, small g of I. So this is the constraint which is modified. So now I can use this constraint in my Lagrangian function. Let L will be equal to f of x1, x2, x3 up to x power n, which is nothing but my objective function. So this is my objective function, and minus summation of phi I. So phi I is a Lagrangian multiplier into g of I x1, x2 up to x power n. So g of I is what we discussed here. So you can able to see this g of I is what at the top. So small. So you can able to see that it is in small letter. So which is I am bringing everything as in a single term. So in left hand side. So that term we call it as small g of I. This is what my Lagrangian equation is. So we use this Lagrangian equation to solve the problems. So this is, as we discussed, objective function, Lagrangian multiplier, and a set of constraints. Steps to solve Lagrangian problem. Step 1, write the Lagrangian function based on the objective function. So this is what we discussed in previous slide. So you have to write it in terms of L, which is equal to objective function minus summation of Lagrangian multiplication into its constraints. So this is the first step. After we complete this step, then we go for step 2. To identify number of variables in the objective function. So this number of variables is denoted as n. So whenever I call n, it is number of variable in the objective function. So for example, if my objective function is having x1 and x2, so n is equal to 2. That is my step 2. Next, we'll go for step 3. What we are going to do here is, we are going to partially differentiate L with respect to the variable xj. So which is if we have number of variables as x1 and x2, I am going to partially differentiate my Lagrangian function with respect to that x1 and equate it to 0. Similarly, x2 and equate it to 0. So this is the step. So in the mathematical form, let me call it like this: dou L by dou xj is equal to 0, where j is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to n. So when I call n, it means it is the number of variables available in the objective function. Step 4. Next, we are going to identify number of constraints for the problem. For example, if we have 3 constraints, so let me denote it as m. So m is equal to 3. So that is your step 4. Next is step 5. We are going to partially differentiate L with respect to a variable phi I. So the phi I is what we denoted as our Lagrangian multiplier. So this we are going to partially differentiate with respect to that, and we are going to equate it to 0. So in later slides, we can understand that clearly by using an example. So in mathematical relation, we will call it as dou L by dou phi I is equal to 0, where I is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to m. So which means if we have 2 constraints, I am going to partially differentiate as dou L by dou phi 1 and dou L by dou phi 2, and I am going to equate that to 0. Next, step 6. So we are going to solve whatever the equations we obtained in step 3 and step 5, and we are going to identify what is the solution for that problem. So that we call it as, that is what we are going to do in step 6. Next, step 7. So to identify whether the problem is a maximization or a minimization problem, we are going to build up a bordered Hessian matrix to identify, to find out whether it's a maximization or a minimization problem. In most of the problems, they will be giving this, what is maximization or is it, something like that. And some problems, they won't specify, they will call an objective function is it. So we have to identify whether it's a maximization or a minimization problem. So bordered Hessian matrix. So you can able to see a bordered Hessian matrix here. It is divided into 4 segments. So segment 1, segment 2, segment 3 and segment 4. So to identify what are the values here, the first segment you have to put zeros based on number of constraints. For example, if we have m is equal to 2, I will get 4 zeros. So which means I will get up to this. You can able to see I will get up to this. So if suppose my m is 3, I will get 9 zeros. So I will get up to this. So this has to be written in the first segment. The second segment indicates the coefficient of derivatives. It has to be written in row wise. So what you have to do is you have to partially differentiate L with respect to phi I, and whatever the coefficients you have, that has to be included in row wise. So the third segment, which is here, it has to be written in column wise. So whatever we get here, that has to be written here in column. And the last segment, you can able to see here. So this we have to partially differentiate twice, and whatever the value we are getting for that, that has to be included here. So we will consider an example related to this, and we will discuss that briefly. Let us consider an example. Let me consider L as shown here. So here you have 2 constraints. The first one is this, the second one is this. So which means number of constraints which is obtained here is 2. So I will get the first segment of my matrix. So since m is equal to 2, I will get 0, 0, 0, 0. The next one is I have to partially differentiate. So let me consider. So I am partially differentiating L. So this L with respect to dou phi. So in that case, you can able to see here, I will get this as an equation. So x1 minus 2x2 plus 5x3 is equal to 100. So I am bringing that 100 on the other side. So these are my coefficients. So in between x, you have 1. So here you have 2, x2, so and here I have 5. So 1, minus 2 and 5 will be my first coefficients. Similarly, let me go for dou phi by dou phi, dou L by dou phi 2. So in that case, you will get an equation something like this. So this equation you are getting as 2x1 minus 10x2 minus 15x3 is equal to 150. So my coefficients here are 2, minus 10 and minus 15. So this I am going to include it in row wise. The first one goes to the first row and the second one goes to the second row. So you will get something like this. So you can able to see here the whatever which is specified here. So the coefficient is indicated as mentioned here. So the same has to be written in column wise for the third segment. So it is like this. You can able to see. So this one is here and this minus 2 is here and 5 is here. So it is just a transpose matrix. Now the next step is to identify what is the matrix here. So you can able to see this one will be a 3 cross 3 matrix. So it depends on number of variables. So my number of variables is 3. So in my objective function, I have x1, x2 and x3. So these are my 3 variables. So I am getting a 3 cross 3 matrix. So what I am going to do is I am going to identify the partial differentiation with respect to that, which is dou L by dou x1 into dou L by dou x1. I have to partially differentiate twice in terms of x1. Similarly, the next one will be dou x1, dou x2 and dou x1, dou x3. Similarly, the other part, dou L by dou x2 into dou L by dou x1, dou L by dou x2 and dou x2, dou x2, dou x3. So 3, 1, 3, 2 and 3, 3. So if I identify what is the partial differentiation of these terms, you will get what is the value with respect to that, and that has to be included at that point. Now let us solve this problem. First, I have to partially differentiate twice with respect to x1. So when I differentiate once, I will get 5 plus 8x1 minus 5y minus 2, 5, 2. So again, if I partially differentiate with respect to x2, I will get 8. So next, I am going to partially differentiate with respect to x1 first, and then I am going to partially differentiate with respect to x2. So I don't have x2 here, so there is no x2 term here, only x1 term is here. So that means when I partially differentiate this, I will get 0. Similarly, when I partially differentiate the next one, dou L by dou x3, that will also be 0. So next, let me proceed to the next row. So first, I am going to partially differentiate with respect to x2 and then with respect to x1. So when I partially differentiate with respect to x2, I will get minus 4x2. So we can able to get here. But when I partially differentiate that with respect to x1, there is no x1 term, so that will be 0. So here, both x2, when I differentiate both x2, I will get minus 4. So x2 and x3, again I will get 0. So let me go for the third row. x3, x1, again it will be 0. x3, x2, again it will be 0. And the last, so partially differentiate twice with respect to x3, you will get 20. So this values has to be entered. So this, you can able to see 8 has to be entered here, 0 has to be entered on the next column. Similarly, this has to be here. Similarly, when I consider the last one, 0 has to be here, and this 0 has to be here, and this 20 has to be here. So when you have to substitute this, then that gives you a Hessian matrix. So now I have just substituted all the values. So you are getting 8, 0, 0, 0, minus 4, 0, 0, 0, 20. So this will give an Hessian matrix. So this one what we call it as a border decision matrix. Now let us go for how to identify whether it's a maximization problem or a minimization problem. Condition for maximization. So the applicable condition is we have to identify n minus m principal minor determinant. So the last n minus m principal minor determinant should be equal to minus 1 power n. So what is n here? So here n indicates the variables available in my objective function and m indicates number of constraints available. So this n minus m will give a value. So that will be based on that value I have to consider my principal minor determinant. So I have to consider my principal minor determinant, and if you identify what is the value of the determinant, that should be equal to minus 1 power n. Again, n indicates here is my variables available in my objective function. So here, if I have first principal, I have to consider only this matrix. Second principal matrix is this one, so I have to consider 2. Third principal minor matrix is, so 3 matrices. Fourth and the last. If I get n minus m is equal to 2, so which means last two is fourth and fifth. So I have to take determinant for fourth principal minor matrix and fifth principal minor matrix. These two determinants should be equal to minus 1 power n. So that has to be done. So if it is n minus m, so if n is 3 and m is 2, so n minus m will be equal to 1. In that case, I have to consider the last principal minor matrix, which is the entire matrix itself. This entire matrix we have to consider it. So that is my fifth principal matrix. So minor. So identifying determinant for this, and then I am going to find out what is the value accordingly. Now let me consider for our problem. For our problem, my objective function, we have 3 variables. So my n is equal to 3. My constraints, I have 2 constraints. My m is equal to 2. So n minus m is equal to 1. So the last one matrix is my fifth principal minor matrix, which is what I discussed earlier. So the entire matrix I have to consider. We have to take determinant for this entire matrix. Now I am taking the determinant for this entire principal minor matrix. So I am getting a value of 52380. So the value is not important, only the sign is important. So it gives a positive sign. So let me consider. So my sign here, so whatever it is, minus m power n. So n is 3. So minus 1 power 3 is minus 1. So the determinant is giving a positive value, whereas the minus 1 power n is giving a negative value. So this is not equal. So that means it is not satisfying the maximization type of problem. So then what is the next step? I have to identify the same, whether it is satisfying for a minimization problem. So condition for minimization problem. So the condition is same. Only difference is my sign is minus 1 power m. Previously it is n, now it is m. N indicates a number of variables in the objective function, whereas m indicates number of constraints. So here my number of constraints is 2, which means so minus 1 power 2 is 1. So again my determinant is also a positive one. So both is satisfying. So this is also positive, this is also positive. So this is a minimization type of problem. Let us solve a problem. I have a nonlinear objective function z, which is equal to 2x1 square minus 3x2 square plus 18x2, subject to one constraint, which is 2x1 plus x2 is equal to 8, and of course x1 and x2 is always greater than 0. So first step, I have to write the Lagrangian function based on my objective function. So my objective function is this. So this minus one constraint. So instead of phi 1, I can consider as phi. Phi of 2x1 plus x2 minus 8. So that is my function. So of course here in my objective function, I have two variables. My n is equal to 2. And I have one constraint. So my m is equal to 1. So my Lagrangian L will be equal to 2x1 square minus 3x2 plus 18x2 minus 5. So I don't have more than one constraint, so I will consider as 5. 2x1 plus x2 minus 8. This is my L value. Step 2. Identify the number of variables in objective function. This we already identified. That is nothing but n. So my n here is 2. Next, step 3. I have to partially differentiate my L with respect to your number of variables. So which means I have 2. So dou L by dou x1 equal to 0. I have to equate it. Similarly, dou L by dou x2 equal to 0. I have to equate it. The first one, dou L by dou x1 is equal to 0. So when I do that, I will get, so I am going to partially differentiate this with respect to x1 and I am going to equate it to 0. So I will get 4x1 minus 2phi is equal to 0. Let me consider this as first equation. Next, dou L by dou x2 is equal to 0. So again, I have to partially differentiate with respect to this. So I will get 6x2 minus 5 is equal to, so plus 18, sorry, plus 18 minus 5 is equal to 0. So I will consider this as my second equation. Then we go for the next step. Step 4. I have to identify number of constraints for the problem. Again, it is already identified. That is nothing but m. So my m here is 1. Next, step 5. I have to partially differentiate dou L with respect to number of constraints based on it. So I have only one constraint. So I call that as phi. So I have to partially differentiate dou L by dou phi and I have to equate it to 0. So dou L by dou phi is equal to 0. So this is my function. So when I partially differentiate this, I will get only this term. So of course minus will be there. When you equate it to 0, that will go on the other side, that becomes 0. So this is my next equation. So I am writing in terms of an equation, bringing that 8 on the other side. Step 6, you have to solve equation obtained in step 3 and step 5 to find the solution. So step 3, I got 2 equations, and step 5, I got 1 equation. So you can able to see there are 3 equations and 3 unknowns. So you can easily solve this. So when you solve this, you will get x1, x2 and phi value. So x1 is equal to 3 here, x2 is equal to 2 here, and phi is equal to 6. So this x1, I am putting star here indicating that is my optimized value. Now I am substituting my values of x1 and x2 in my objective function. When I substitute it, I will get what is my z value. So that is equal to 42. Now I have to identify whether this z is a maximization problem or a minimization problem. So to do that, I have to go for bordered Hessian matrix. So let me proceed. So this is my L value. So how many constraints are here? You have only one constraint here. So which means I will get only one matrix, which is my first segment. The second section, I have to partially differentiate with respect to phi. So dou L by dou phi and equate it to 0. You will get 2x1 plus x2 is equal to 8. So my coefficients are 2. So you can able to see there are two coefficients, 2 and 1. So I will write it here. So I am writing the same in row wise as well as in column wise. So I completed section 1 and 3. The last section, so which is a 2 cross 2 matrix, so which has to be completed. So it depends on number of variables available in my objective function. So first I have to partially differentiate dou L by dou x1, similarly dou L by dou x2. So dou L by dou x1, again I am differentiating with respect to x1, I will get 4. Differentiating with respect to x2, I will get 0. And differentiating dou L by dou x2 with respect to x1, we will get 0. Again we are differentiating, we will get minus 6. So this values will be entered here. So which will be 4, 0, 0, minus 6. So this is my border Hessian matrix. So here for the bordered Hessian matrix, my n is 2 and m is 1. So my n minus m is equal to 1. So I have to consider the last principal minor determinant. My last principal minor determinant is the entire matrix. So if I identify determinant for this entire matrix, I am getting 20, so which means it is a positive value. Now I will identify for a maximum condition. Maximum condition is minus 1 power n. So minus 1 power n, when I substitute it, I will get 1, which is also a positive sign. So both are correct. So both are equal. So both we call this as a, so this problem is a maximization problem. So I can write it like this. So x1 is 3, x2 is 2, and z max is 42. Note, so in the book Panneerselvam, the way of taking determinant is wrong. So that's why, so getting a different solution there. So they call the same problem as a minimization problem. But when I refer it, I got the data. So I will also include that as a additional material for you, so you can verify that. So this is the right answer. Let me proceed with another problem. So here my z is having 3 variables, so x1, x2 and x3, and I have one constraint. So again we will follow the same procedure. Step 1, writing in terms of Lagrangian function. So before that we will identify what is my n value and what is my m value. So n is 3 here, you have x1, x2 and x3, and m is 1. So m is equal to 1 because we have only one constraint. So my Lagrangian function will be x1 square plus 2x2 square plus x3 square minus phi of 2x1 plus x2 plus 2x3 minus 30. Next, let us identify number of variables which we identified, that is n value. Next, I have to partially differentiate with respect to this n value. So I have 3 n value, which means I have to partially differentiate dou L by dou x1, dou L by dou x2, and dou L by dou x3, and I am going to equate it with respect to 0. First, dou L by dou x1 equated to 0. So you will get 2x1 minus 2 phi is equal to 0. Similarly, so this is my first equation. Similarly, dou L by dou x2 equal to 0. I will get 4x2 minus 5 is equal to 0. Similarly, third, dou L by dou x3 is equal to 0. I will get 2x3 minus 2 phi is equal to 0. So this completes our step 3. Next is step 4, identifying number of constraints. You have only one constraint, m. So m is equal to 1. So step 5, partially differentiate with respect to the constraint. So I have to partially differentiate dou L by dou phi and equate it to 0. So which means I will get 2x1 plus x2 plus 2x3 minus 30 is equal to 0. So next I will go for the solving step, which is step 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equations with 4 unknowns. So we can use these 4 equations and we can solve this to identify what is its value. When I solve this, I will get x1, x2, x3 and 5 as 120 by 17, 30 by 17, 120 by 17, 120 by 17. So it may be a fraction value or a decimal value. So before substituting to an objective function, let us consider in terms of a ratio, because when you convert it to a decimal, there may be some errors because of the decimal points. So to avoid that error, we will go in terms of ratios. We will write only the objective function in terms of decimal points. Now substituting in my objective function, so it is in terms of 120 by 17 and other things. So I will get z star, which is equal to 150.88. So this is my answer. So now I have to identify whether it's a maximization problem or a minimization problem. To solve this, I have to go for a bordered Hessian matrix. So let us consider this equation. So I have, again, the equation is having only one constraint. So I'll have only one matrix here. And I am going to partially differentiate this. When I differentiate it, we get 2x1 plus x2 plus 2x3 is equal to 30. So 2, 1 and 2 will be my coefficients. I can write this in row wise and column wise. So that will be completed here. The next one is I have to identify the values. So since we have 3 variables, I will partially differentiate with respect to 3. Dou L by dou x1, I will get 2x1 minus 25. Dou L by dou x2, I will get 4x2 minus 5. Dou L by dou x3, which is equal to 2x3 minus 25. Now, I am partially differentiating these terms again with respect to x1. I will get 2 and others will be zeros because I don't have x2 or x3 terms. Similarly here, the first one will be 0, second will be 4, third is 0, and the last one will be having a value of 2. So my value will be 2, 0, 0, 0, 4, 0 and 0, 0, 2. So here I got my bordered Hessian matrix. So let me go for the identifying determinant for this matrices. So my n is 3, m is 2. So n minus m, I am getting 2. So which means I have to consider last 2 principal minor determinant and I have to identify what is the sign for this last 2 determinants, minor determinants. So the first one, last one is this. Taking determinant of this, I am getting minus 68. Next, it is a negative sign. Next, this is my next determinant. Taking determinant for this, again I am getting a negative sign. So there is no possibility of having one positive and one negative. So which means if you get one positive and one negative, which means you can't solve the problem. It is like redundancy error, something like that. So now let us check whether it's a maximization or a minimization problem. So for a maximization problem, my condition is minus 1 power n should be equal. So minus 1 power n, so which is minus 1 power 3 is equal to minus 1. So this is also you are getting a negative sign here. So both are negative, which means you can able to see that. So this problem is a maximization problem. So I can write Z max is equal to 150.88. So kindly consider this. So in Panneerselvam book, so there is an error. So I also verified. I have 2 documents attached with this in Google Classroom. You can verify that. Thank you.